Well, thank you very much for joining us, Geoff.
My pleasure.
Now, most people in dog world will know your name and will most likely have seen you in a group or best in show ring at some point or another, handling or judging. How was it, though, that you first got involved in dog showing?
Well, I didn't come from a doggy background. I mean, the family didn't have dogs as such, and I was always animal mad. And then I just decided that when I left school, I would buy a dog of my own, and that's exactly what I did.
And can you remember what that dog was?
The first breed I ever had was a West Highland White Terrier. His name was Archie.
Archie.
Yes.
Well,
and he was bought purely as a pet. I had no real intentions of showing, but I did show him.
You did show him?
Yeah. And I was sort of a greenhorn then, no idea what things were, and he, as it turned out, his mouth wasn't particularly correct. So, but it actually got me into showing, and I got the bug.
Yeah. And ever since?
And that was it. It went on from there.
What was the dog you got after Archie?
The dog after that was actually the first champion I ever bred in my first ever litter.
Wow.
Talk about beginner's luck.
Yeah.
And that was a bitch, and she was called Champion Seal or Selena.
Another Westie?
Another Westie, yeah. Yeah, they were just Westies in those days, that's all I ever thought about.
Of course, things have moved on since then.
Oh, yeah.
And you've handled across all 7 groups, champions across all 7 groups?
Yeah.
And many people in the dog world consider you as one of the best handlers around. What's it like to have a tag like that?
Well, I didn't know I had a tag, but it's very nice for people to think of me in that way. It's really nice. You do it the way you do, and my style is my style. Whether it's obviously other people appreciate that.
Well, we'll go to some quick fire questions.
Okay.
We've done the first two, so we'll skip over those ones. When was it that you made up that first champion?
It was in the 1960s.
1960s.
About 65, I think.
And when and where was your first best in show as a handler?
Well, the first best in show is quite incredible, really, because the first best in show I ever had was in 1976, and it was a Crufts best in show.
Not a bad start.
Not a bad start at all.
No, not at all.
It's been a really good show for me. It's I think in dogs you have lucky shows and unlucky shows. Crufts has always been a really lucky show for me.
Yeah. And how did you celebrate it? That was a big one, so...
Well, at that time, the show was at Olympia, the old Olympia, and we were staying with some poodle people called Vicky and John Marshall, Vic Mars, who a lot of the older people would remember. And they lived in West Drayton. So we literally went back there, and I was shell-shocked. I mean, I was quite young then, and it was such a surprise. It was incredible. And I remember it distinctly like yesterday. I stood outside, I looked across these fields, and I thought, I've got best in show at Crufts. What will I do now? Because people used to say, oh, you win best in show, then you retire.
That was it, yeah.
And I thought, crikey, this is my first winner. Have I got to retire?
Clearly not.
No. After a week or so, then I got rid of that idea.
Yeah, and you've gone back since and
yeah,
done quite well for yourself.
With Michael, we've had 3.
Yeah, and as I said, you've handled champions across all groups. Mm-hmm. But what would you say is the most difficult to groom? Sorry.
Oh, that's an easy answer. The most difficult dog or the difficult breed I've ever had to trim would be a Sealyham Terrier. They really are so difficult.
We spoke to Biddy Horn actually last year, and she said the same thing.
Yeah, it's not so much the dog itself or the temperament of the dog. It's they have such a difficult coat. It's very difficult to get all the combinations right and the timing right, and they do have a strange coat. Looking
back over the years, what is the best dog that you've ever judged?
Well, that's a very hard question, and it's hard to answer. And I've had several dogs I've really liked. If I was forced to choose one, it probably would be Yogi, the Hungarian Vizsla, who I gave best in show to at the Scottish Kennel Club a few years back.
Yeah.
He was an exceptional dog, and I mean he went on to have a a fantastic career in this
18
country.
best in shows,
Yeah,
which is
yeah. And I was delighted to have given him one of them.
been part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, he's left a legacy of
Yeah,
progeny
which
as well.
is very nice because not all top dogs do that for whatever reason, but his impact on that breed has been enormous.
And over the years, is there a dog you've seen that you'd like to have got your hands on but never have, as a judge or a handler?
Well, not necessarily seen in the flesh, but seen lots of photographs of, would be a famous standard poodle in America called Command Performance, who was handled by that brilliant handler Frank Sabella. I would have loved to have just put my hands on him, because everybody's sort of praised him over many, many years, and I would just love to have gone over him just to see really how good he was.
Again, going back to some of the best dogs in the ring, what was the last dog that you saw that made the hairs on the back of your neck stand up?
Well, I'm a little bit biased on this answer, because it was, in the end, it was something I actually owned myself. But to start off with, it would be Fresno, the Larza. She was just an amazing dog. In all sorts of ways, she was a fantastic dog to look at. She had the most wonderful charisma. As a companion, she was second to none. And as a producer, she went on to produce dogs all over the world that went on then to carry on those bloodlines. She was quite incredible.
And of course, last year you gave another Lhasa the utility group.
I did, yeah.
And she went on to Best in Show.
Yeah, wonderful.
Nice to see. How did you feel when you saw your utility group winner?
Well, we actually went home afterwards, because I thought, well, it's probably better to watch this on television. So we were sat there not having any idea what Frank would do, because as far as I remember, Frank had never judged Elizabeth, and we were just sort of sitting there watching her. And I mean, I was very proud of her, because she was such a lovely bitch. And we just kind of watched there. And of course, when she won, we were screaming. I mean, we were just up on the, jumping up and down on the chair, like crazy things, But it was a wonderful win for her, a wonderful win for the breed.
And I mean, if you think so much of Fresno, who was the last answer, you must think a lot of Elizabeth.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
At that level.
My theory always has been when you step into the ring, you put up the best dog that's there. You don't play games, don't try and be clever. Just put up the best, and then to my mind, Elizabeth was the best there, and for Frank then to go and endorse that was fantastic.
Yeah. So this year, you're judging Best in Show.
I am.
What was it like when you got that letter in the post or got that call to say that you were judging Best in Show?
Well, we just got back from holiday in South Africa, and we were wading through all the posts that you get when you're away on holiday, and there was this big green envelope, and I put it to one side, and I went through everything else, and I thought, I'll just open this. And I opened it, and I looked at it, and I put it down, and I'm thinking, no, just read that again, because I'm not sure you've read that correctly. And I looked at it again, and I went, my. And I said to Michael, just read this, and just tell me I'm reading it right. And it was just like, me?
Well,
a tremendous thrill, tremendous honour. It was just one of those moments that I shall remember forever.
You mentioned your partner Michael there.
Yeah.
You and Michael have got a list of achievements as long as your arm.
We have, yeah.
I'm going to have to read some of these, but 3 times Best in Show at Crufts, 10 different Crufts group winners, 5 top dogs, and you're thought to be the only partners to have won Reserve and Best in Show at the same show.
That's right.
Which is at East of England a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was, with Kerry and the Bisham. What
is the secret to such consistent success?
I don't know if it's a secret as such. We work well together. We have the highest sort of thinking as regards quality. We have our feet on the ground. We look at things, and he'll give his views and I'll give mine. We always want the best that we can ever be. And same with the dog. You just want the best. And we respect each other's opinion. I mean, he'll say something and I'll say something. And that's how it works really well for us. We don't always agree. But when it comes to quality dogs, we're often often right together.
Got the same.
Yeah, but I
same
don't know as
thinking.
a secret, and we work hard at it. You know, it's 10, 12-hour
doesn't come
days is quite common for us.
Mm. Especially with dogs like Bichons that must
Well,
be
yeah,
constant
lot of
for-
work, lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, lot of time, a lot of grooming, trimming, and training. It's day after day after day.
Mm.
It might look glamorous to a lot of people, and it's exciting. Yeah, it is. We love what we do, but it is hard work at the end of the day.
So with 3 Best in Shows at Crufts with Michael, it's clearly a show that you do well at and that you like.
Mm.
But I've seen you both in previous years, and you've got a lot of work on.
Yeah.
This year's a bit of a quiet one because Michael is judging the breeders, you're judging Best in Show, so you've got none of that work over the weekend.
No.
Is it something that you'll miss, or are you looking forward to a quiet weekend?
It'll be very strange because I don't think I've ever gone to Crufts. One of us, we're not having a dog.
Mm.
So to go to Crufts this year and have no dogs will feel very strange. Yeah, I'll miss it. I mean, I love being with the dogs. That's the thing I enjoy most, if I'm really honest. And I can go to shows and sort of have a few hours and do nothing. Then I get itchy feet and itchy hands. I want to sort of do something. When I get hold of a brush or a comb or something and do something.
So one Sunday night, you're going to have had 20,000 dogs whittled
Mhm.
down to just 7. And they're going to be some of the best dogs you're likely to have ever seen. What is it you're going to be looking for in that moment for your Best in Show winner?
Well, it's one of those things that when you see it, you know it. Obviously, it's got to be, good for its breed. That's first and foremost. It's got to be sound. It's got to be healthy, obviously. It's got to have charisma.
Got to have
Quite
everything.
often, I can look at a dog and get just a gut feeling. It's very, very hard to explain. It's just a gut feeling. You just see something that stands in front of you and you think, that's the one. Don't ask me what it is, but that's the one. and I'll know it there and then.
Not when you see it.
I'll know it when I see it.
Now, outside of dogs, you've spoken a lot about dogs. What are your interests outside of the world of dogs?
Well, when there's time, we've started showing British miniature spotted ponies.
All right.
That's a real passion for us now. That's really a very nice distraction. I'm an avid gardener, believe it or not. I just like the peace.
Is that how you hurt your back?
Very nearly. I just like to get out in the garden because it's peaceful out there, and there's no phones ringing, there's no dogs barking, there's no pressure. I really enjoy that. But it's when time allows, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And when the weather allows in this country. I mean, last year
Gardening,
was
yeah.
shocking.
Didn't
I
get
don't
much done.
think I went in the garden once, really.
You've handled many champions and Best in Show winners. What tips would you give to up-and-coming youngsters looking to become handlers or breeders?
I think what they need to do is to listen and learn, and watch the good handlers of whatever breed they're in. Ask questions. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? We have a lot of talented youngsters around, but I think they could help themselves more by paying more attention to what's around them. We've a young lad now that's helping us now, and he had the foresight to come and speak to us and ask us for help, which we're willing to do. But I think a lot of kids these days don't really want to sort of sit down and watch, and you can even now I can sit and watch somebody and pick up and learn things. I mean, you never stop learning. I don't care who you are or how old you are. You never stop learning. You can always pick up some bit of a tip or advice from somebody.
So it's a case of them being too proud to ask?
I think they're very keen and they want to do the best and they want to win. But I think there's a big gap where they could learn more and know why they're doing things. It's okay going in the ring with a dog, but you need to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. That would be the best advice I could give to the juniors out there.
Well, thank you very much for spending some time with us.
My pleasure.
Best of luck for Crufts.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll speak to you again after Best in Show and you can tell us all about your winner.
Yeah, how excited it was and everything.